Holy crap. Bobby Fong, the 18-year overnight success story.
Nice.
What's up, dude?
Thanks, dude. That was a nice little introduction you have. I never even watched that. That was nice.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Dude, you are a factory guy now. Holy shit.
Long time, dude. Only 33 years old. It's been first pro race when I was 16. Or no, sorry, '06 when I was 14 or 15, actually. And it's taken this long, but I'm excited, man. It almost didn't happen, but I'm excited either way.
Dude,
So,
this was this process was several months, I remember having phone calls with you like every day almost.
yeah.
You're like,
Check
dude,
it
have you heard
out.
anything? I'm like, fuck, I don't know anything. You
I was trying to get the inside scoop, dude.
don't have the inside scoop.
Yeah, I was trying to get
They
the
don't tell
inside
me
scoop.
shit.
Yeah, yeah. I was seeing if I could read between the lines.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
I hang out with Richard, but he don't tell me nothing. You know?
I told myself, like, like a year or two ago, I'm like, I'm not going to stress on getting rides anymore. Like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
stress. It happens, it happens. But then when I heard like there was a possibility of getting this ride, I'm like, shit, I'm so stressed out. Like I was so
Oh
stressed out.
my
But it was
god.
like it was within reach. But there's been so many times like over my career where it's been like at reach, but just not quite grasp it. But it's cool, man. Honestly, I'm excited. Definitely more. I wouldn't say more pressure, but it's just like it's expected more to do good. Like obviously, everybody goes out to try to
Oh,
win,
dude,
and
I
do
mean,
good, but
you did really well this past season though, on that wrench bike, like you want to talk a little bit about that and like how that kind of progressed you a little bit forward, maybe?
no, I mean, dude, honestly, like we started. Dave Anthony, moved down to the super sport class, and he basically asked me if I wanted to ride the R1 2 years, 23, sorry.
Yeah.
Um, and I did 3 rounds that year at the end of the year, and basically like it did pretty good at the end of the year. And then it basically he got the rent sponsorship, and then Dave was like, "Hey, do you want to continue for 24?" So I'm like, "Hell yeah!" I want to race superbike, and we did a lot of work in the off season. Nick Sealing from he's my data guy, and Robbie Peterson and Dave, like they kind of put their heads together and
Yeah.
made a good bike, man. We done some good stuff on it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really can't complain. We led the championship, was great. Like
Yeah.
went into the year, we just like we wanted just to be like uh, in the podium fight, like we just wanted to
Right.
be podium, and then once we got the podium in round one, where we got the pole position and then the podium, we're like, shit, we could maybe win a race.
Yeah.
And like, okay, we're like, okay, let's take baby steps. And then, we're, chomping at the bit and, getting closer to wins. And then we finally got the win at Brainerd, which was honestly, it was like not even expected. You know what I mean? Like we just wanted to be on the podium, but the team was good, man. Like it was just a cool group of guys. They worked hard and they made a good bike for me to do my thing. So I honestly, I owe it all to those guys, really, to be completely honest. Like I've been competitive a lot, like, years past and done some stuff, but never, never got the chance to be on a factory team, and they helped me get this ride. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah,
And you know what, man? Like I remember seeing you at the test at the beginning of the last season, and you're out there, you guys were out testing with us, pretty regular, whether it was you and the bagger thing and the wrench thing or just the wrench thing. I mean, I can remember you throwing down just insane times at the test, and we're all like scratching our heads, like, how the hell did he do that? Where did
yeah,
that come from? Right?
yeah. No, it was good, man. The bike handled good, and we found our little window, and we ran with it. It was good. So I think the team, it really put the team on the map. It made just basically we really made we made a mark in the sport. I feel like we
Yeah.
made a mark for sure.
I
So
mean, whatever it was that you guys were doing, the internet was like nonstop talking about the swing arm, you know?
Yeah,
And I think some of that is because, the Attack team has made all their own shit for years, and, they make their own swing arms and make a lot of other things as well, and, to see another Yamaha doing a similar thing and you're having some success, naturally, everybody's like, "Oh my god, it must be the swing arm."
yeah. Honestly, it wasn't just a swing arm; it was the whole package. Like it was a whole package. And to be fair, like what we like, we had like 2 or 3 iterations of the swing arm, and it was progressively getting better. And I think he even had one more that we didn't end up trying at the end of the year. It just wasn't ready. So he did a really good job on designing that stuff for sure. And yeah, and I think it could have just kept improving, with bike handling. Our handling was great. We're suffering and like, acceleration stuff, just little things like that. But
Right.
our handling at the end of the year was kudos to those guys. They did a good job. So
Right on, right on. So, you know what, man? Like, you've been to the shop a little bit, you've had a test, like, how's the interaction that you've had so far with the team?
honestly, it was smooth. Like it's crazy. Like years when you're not on the factory team, like I even hear from other people too.
Yeah,
Like
tell me
walking,
about this. Like, compare not
like
being on the
walking.
factory team
Well, everybody's always kind of intimidated to even walk under the tent at Yamaha.
Shut
Like
the
rumor, no,
fuck.
but no, I'm serious. Like, I'm serious. Like,
Really?
even years past, like it was always this
Okay,
like, I don't want to go over there. Like, everybody's full business, But I
okay,
think that's just the persona. It's a factory Yamaha team.
okay. Yeah,
But once you get in there, everybody's super cool, joking around like any other team, just shooting the shit. Um, yes, it is really professional. Like, they want to, get down to business for sure. But now, right when I walked in there, I was nervous, for my first day of school, like I didn't know what to expect, just really quiet and stuff like that. But after the first day, it was just like the shit talking and, all the
100%.
stuff was back to normal. So it's pretty cool. It wasn't too crazy, but they definitely provide a lot more than I'm used to, as in just like the factory team, the factory level. Richard had all these things, where he wants to work on and try in the future and at the
Yeah,
test, and just
okay,
the capability of sharing the data, which is great. Because most of my career I never really had a teammate. Only
okay.
here and there I've had a teammate. Um, but it was cool, like the comparison and all the data he's had from all the riders he's had, and then yeah, just like basically pointing out a lot of things on the data, which was really cool because it's hard. Like when you're on a one rider team, it's like you only compare your last lap or your fastest lap, right?
Right.
Like, which Richard did that, and then he compared Cameron's stuff, and then he compared Jake's stuff, and then even after the test, weeks later, he's telling me like, "Hey, I was looking at this, and I think you need to improve on this," or "Hey, you
Yeah.
lost X amount of time from this rider at this lap," and it's just crazy. It's so much knowledge. It's really
Did
cool.
did you tell me that Marshall was reaching out to you as well?
Yeah, yeah. Marshall was reaching out to me. Like it's cool. Like they're definitely working behind the scenes
Dude,
for sure.
that Marshall guy, that dude is switched on big time, man. Like, that dude, I did, like, 10 laps on the bike a couple years ago, and,
Yeah,
like, on my way home, I was, like, an hour away from the track, and Marshall's hit me up like, "Hey, man, how'd it go?" Like, a couple days.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
"Bro," like,
yeah,
right? So, like, that dude's, like, super switched on, man, and, I was lucky enough to and you guys were cool enough to let me sit there and listen to the writer debrief a couple
yeah,
times,
yeah.
and watching them probe you was pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure they were pretty excited just to get what I said because, I was on a completely different team bike last year. I'm sure that they were pretty excited or curious to see what I was going to say, after the first few goes. Like the biggest thing for me, obviously, Richard said it the other day, it was like the brakes. Like, holy shit, dude, these things are
Yeah.
way too touchy,
Yeah. Yeah.
way too touchy. But I got used to it. It was good. Like,
Yeah.
I crashed, obviously. That was the last thing I wanted to do is crash
Yeah, I
first
went
day.
to I went to scoop you up, and you're like, "No, we're pushing it in." "Okay, cool."
I
I
just
think I
wanted to
gave
keep
you a
my I just wanted to keep my helmet on, keep the shield on, and just walk back. Like the walk of shame. I don't want you to ride, just walk back.
Yeah, I gave you a ride back on the scooter,
So
and
upset. It was
yeah,
so.
you were just like, "I'm so sorry, man."
It wasn't. It was like wasn't even pushing. It was just like just that one little extra bar pressure. But anyways, that was the big thing like that I need to get used to. I thought I was gonna have like some issues without the rear pedal, just like initially going
Oh,
into the
okay.
like but that didn't bother me. That didn't bother me at all. It was fine, and then their bike did a lot of good things for sure, a lot of good things, and I know we have a lot more to test. We have a lot more days out
Dude,
there.
I just got the schedule email a minute ago, and I was just like, "Wow, dude, it's a lot."
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we have so much. I'm sure he has so much things to go through. So, um, yeah, and he said it the other day. It's like we haven't even messed with like turning stuff and all that stuff. But I
Yeah.
mean, his bike definitely what we were lacking last year. His bike definitely does it great. Like,
Really?
yeah, the
Okay.
acceleration, the gearbox was different as well, which I like their gearbox. Obviously, we don't know when it goes to other tracks, but like their podium club, it really I felt like it helped in a lot of ways, their
Yeah.
gearbox, how it's spread out that way.
Oh, so the gearbox is quite a bit different than what you had on the other
It
bike?
wasn't night and day. It wasn't night and day difference, but you can tell it just always put you in a different position where you didn't need to shift or you could shift or, you're in a different power range. I think we're basically, I think the same gearing as what I was last time, same shift pattern. But
Did your last bike have the neutral lockout thing too?
yeah, we,
Oh, it
we had
did,
that
okay.
last year. Yeah, we had that last year. Uh,
Okay.
but no, it was because we're in first gear a lot in the R1, so we don't
Yeah,
have
right?
we
Like,
had that.
everybody, like, even on the stalker would go down to first gear, and everybody's like, "What, dude?"
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So, no, the bike did a lot of good things, and I know he wants to mess around with a lot of ergonomic stuff here. Probably at the next test or the test after that. So it's
Yeah,
cool.
what do you think about showing up at a test and having that regimented form to go through, you know? Like, they have a plan that they've worked on for a while behind the scenes, and then you guys have to just go through it. Like, how is
You
that?
know, I think it's great. It's new for me because like usually I'm used to like just going out and just you're testing, so you're working on everything. You right? Like you want
Oh,
to
okay.
want to go as fast as you can, or at least for what I want to do. Like when we go to test, like we're testing everything. Like we're testing. Okay, how are we gonna beat my last lap time or whatever? It could be anything, right? But the last test, he really just wanted to test. Yes, we worked on a little other stuff, but his main focus was corner entry, right? Like how hard can I go on the brakes? How deep can I go in the turn? So like that was the main thing. Like I said, he didn't really mess with turning and all that stuff on the bike as of yet because he had a plan. The whole team had a plan. Like that was the
Yeah.
main reason of the test.
Yeah.
Because that's where you
Yeah.
can make the most time too. So
Yeah, I saw, I mentioned it on the show the other night with the skipper, but one of the things I sat through and listened to them talking to you, and they went and they made some changes, and then when you came back, you had the same complaint that you had before, but you were 7/10 quicker.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
it's like
isn't that how funny
yeah,
that works?
yeah. We just keep pushing the bar, dude. We just keep pushing the bar, and like one thing that, like I said, the bike did a lot of good things. Yeah, but it was like I just wanted to really do more laps. But I know we had to basically get through some stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't help the team crashing on the first day and missing hours of
I
time. But
mean,
part
it
of the game.
happens. It
Yeah.
happens, right?
So
Yeah.
no, it was a part of the game. But I know
So
I'm
I got some questions already from people
yeah.
coming in. I mean, obviously, there's the big question. I'll save it for later, but it's like everybody wants to compare. Everybody wants to compare your last year's bike to this year's bike. Do you want to? I guess I don't have to save it.
No,
You could say, yeah,
I mean everybody kind of knows. Like the lap time wise, I believe if you just look at lap times, the track is slower this year. Like
okay,
this track is slower this year. Podium Club, just for whatever
yeah, like
reason,
about half second, right?
it's about a half second slower. Yeah, and I
Okay,
just confirming what Jake too. Throughout the 2 days we were there, I'm like, man, we just can't get the same laps. Like it was a lot harder to do lap times. They're just more bumpy, a little less, not as grippy. Like before like we would wear out like sevens and eights the rear tire, right? And now
yeah,
they look like glass, like you can never
yeah,
wear it out. Like it just the track doesn't have the same grip. obviously for whatever reason, who knows? But lap time wise, we're really like, we're basically, when you think of the half second, I mean, we're right on par. Right.
Yeah, you guys, I don't, you guys didn't look a half second. Like you looked about 3/10.
Yeah. I
From,
mean,
I mean,
the thing is, and I'll say straight up right now, and I told Richard already, the one thing that my bike did differently last year was, at least for, I'm just saying podium club to podium club,
right.
it just turned a little bit better. It just turned better in general. It just
Hmm.
turned better. But Richard even said, like, we haven't even worked on our turning yet. So
Yeah.
our main focus was, and it's crazy because like about last year's bike, the TC worked in a different way. Like we had it
Okay.
cutting in a different way. The EB worked in a different way. Like there was a lot of things that, was in a different way.
Okay.
And I'm not saying good or bad, but it took me a little bit to get used to as well, as the traction control. Because last year my bike cut, like I could actually hear it, like out of the turns.
Yeah.
This one is really smooth. Like you really can't hear it really. It's just
Dude,
like,
Jake, I think I heard Jake say something like that too. You guys were talking about that, right?
yeah, like my bike cut a lot, so I always knew like, oh, I'm okay, like I'm in it. But this one, it's really smooth, so it was really hard for me to like really judge. Like, okay, hey, is this thing safe to like get onto it? So that I'm still getting used to that part. And I
Hmm.
started adding, like when I got on the bike, I rode Peterson's setup, and like I added, for me, for my riding style, we added a lot. I wouldn't say a lot more, but more wheelie control on all gears, basically, for how like fast because Peterson's really smooth, and I'm like kind of
Yeah.
aggressive with the throttle, so I tend to get the wheel up more, and I added more TC pretty much everywhere as well.
Wow.
So not to slow me down, but it just for me, for my riding style. But as of right now, like the bike is definitely comes out of the turns a lot. The Attack bike comes out a lot, turns insanely fast. Like it's crazy how good it comes out of the turns.
Yeah.
And I know that Richard worked on, the whole team has worked on it really. Like that was their main purpose, is like not purpose, but like that was one of their main goals last year, was like come out of the turns fast. So and they achieved that for sure. But yeah, this the thing right now that like we're gonna work on is just the turning. It just turns a little bit better than my
Hmm.
last year's bike.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, you know what? One of the things I did notice is that you were doing the exact same thing you did on the old bike and on the bagger, backing it in, going into turn one, and leaving like this giant black stripe, which turned into like almost like a dotted line stripe into at by the end of the test, you were backing it in, but you weren't leaving anything. It's just like,
Just chirping away, dude. I
yeah,
don't even know. I probably ran off like because we kept on working on turn one. We're like messing with like the engine braking and just like the chassis a little bit, just to brake as deep as I can. And um, man, I probably ran wide probably 3/4 of the day. I barely made that turn, So I barely made that turn for the whole 2 days.
man.
But when we did, it was nice. It was good, but it was really rare to make the turn. So.
So Joel wants to know, when you came back a couple of years ago to be on a bagger, how surprised are you now that you're on a factory Yamaha?
It is very surprising. It's honestly like, man, it's kind of upsetting because that's just our
It's
sport.
upsetting.
It is upsetting. It is upsetting because it's like that's. I mean, you have guys in the bagger class right now who they don't deserve. Like they deserve a super bike ride, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just it's very sad.
It's a weird state of the sport, I guess you could
It's
say.
just sad, honestly. Like I'm very thankful for sure. Like I'm stoked, but it's just sad. Like, dude, like you have all these good guys. Like everybody deserves. Like most of those guys deserve a super bike spot, But yes, they're racing a bagger, you
Yeah.
know. Just yeah, it's unfortunate, really sad. So.
Yeah, you said that the riding the bagger was fun, but then it kind of wasn't fun at the end.
In me, I'm just being transparent. I'm gonna be real. Like I've
Yeah.
always all these podcasts I do, I try to be
Yeah.
obviously like pretty straightforward with the fans
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I don't really beat around the bush too much. Most people know. It was fun winning. Winning is fun. Like
Okay.
winning
Fair
is fun.
enough.
We didn't do it all the time. But honestly, the factories really took it over. My personal opinion. Like you have some good privateers as like Vance and Hines. Like but you
Yeah.
almost consider them a factory as well.
Yeah, those guys know racing inside,
Yeah, like if
outside,
it's
upside
just,
down,
I
backwards.
mean, you've seen, and I'm not trying to, downplay the cost, but I mean, you've seen there was a lot of people in the beginning racing baggers, and now there's what, 6, 7 guys.
Yeah,
Like there's not many. I mean,
yeah,
because I feel, my personal opinion, it's nobody could afford to race against factory teams. Like I was racing on the SDI bagger, and we're not a factory team. We're blowing up engines every weekend. It's just not feasible, and if
yeah,
you're not developing parts every weekend, you're not going to do. You're just pissing in the wind. So no, it's not fun anymore. Unless you're on a factory, it's not fun.
yeah, yeah. I hear that, dude.
And honestly, I had fun doing it. I really had fun doing it. And the bagger class is great. Like it's cool, but being on a factory team and winning is cool on a bagger.
So I said the other night that you kind of had like a chip on your shoulder. You like want to smash everybody. So how many of those Stockton slaps you gonna be throwing around next season?
No, honestly, as much as it's cool to like give the Stockton slap to people, but I gotta be humble too. You know what I mean? Like I know this thing. I gotta be humble. And honestly, this whole ride could just, this whole roller coaster I've been in could end tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that like I really have to enjoy the moment and like appreciate what I have, because fuck, this could be over tomorrow. Really, you know what I mean? Like I'm no spring chicken anymore. 33 years old. Like you just never know, dude. Like as much as I want to say, fuck, I'm gonna go out and smash everybody or try to smash everybody, I gotta really be
Well,
humble
there's
about
there's a bunch
it.
of wing nuts wanting to do the same to you
Like,
and
no, no,
everyone
100,
else too, right?
100%. Honestly, 100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody's out there to try to win. Like everybody's out there to try to win for sure. But it's crazy. Like, I don't know if it's just like me being confident with myself or just age, but it's like it's crazy. Even like my competitors, I've noticed this in the past like few years. Like, I wouldn't want to like, for example, like Strava or something like that, right? Like, I would want to just always go 100% all the time. Like, I want to go faster than this guy. Let me say a bike ride. I want to go faster than this guy
Right.
today, and like I want to do more miles, all this shit, or like I don't want to train with this guy, or I don't want to show weakness at the motocross track because thinking it might affect me on the road race track. Like now, it's just like it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like I don't really care. Like
Like you show up and leave it all on the table and
yeah,
that's it.
I used to think like years ago, like in my 20s and stuff. I used to think like, man, this guy's smoking me, like another road racer or whatever. I'm giving you like example, this guy would go to the motocross track and he just smoked me, and I would think like, fuck, if I can't beat him here, like he's better than me on the road race bike. Like you just think
No
like I'm
way.
showing. I wouldn't think he's better, but like it's just like a sign of weakness. You know what I mean? Like I've always been brought up to be tough, don't show weakness. Like that's just like the
Yeah.
old school way. It's like, but the older I get, it's just like, man, it is what it is. Like believe in
Yeah.
yourself and you just be confident in what you've done to get to this point,
Yeah.
and be humble about it. Like it's maybe old age, dude. Old age. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not a unique position that you're in, you know? I mean, there's a bunch of people that have that same attitude in their 20s and then they're in their 30s and they're doing better than they ever have, right?
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
crazy. This sport we're in, road racing. It's like it's we don't have any more like many young guys. Like the older you get, it's more like I'm
well,
not
there's a
old,
lot of young guys actually, but like in Superbike,
not
not so
in
much.
superbike, not in
Yeah,
superbike,
not in
not
Superbike, no.
not in world superbike, not in
No. Yeah, it's a
like
bunch of 30 somethings in World Superbike and Motor America, right?
in
I mean,
BSB. Like
yeah.
so it's this experience, I guess. It's
Yeah,
like
I mean,
rock.
it
So
it it takes a lot too, right? I mean, riding a stocker, basically, riding a super sport bike, it's a lot different than riding a super bike, right? I mean,
yeah, it really is, man. I mean,
so much electronics, so much more brake, so much more suspension, so many options, you know?
yeah, there's to say something, there's something about just being a little bit older and wiser, like look at the super sport class, like the older guys, that Scolds, PJ, Jake Lewis, you have that, yes, you got the fast young guys, but like who are consistently there is like the guys with more experience,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
So
Richard he just texted me, he said, it's the technology and it takes a while for a rider to understand that stuff.
yeah. Yeah, it really does,
And
dude.
it's not just the electronics, but it's overall the whole dynamics of it, right?
Yeah, it does. It does take a lot. In fact, like, dude, every time I get on the bike, I mean, everybody kind of says the same thing, but it is true. Like every time you get on the bike, you learn something.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is, like you take something away each time you're on the bike. Each session, you take something away. Like, oh, like I could use this for another time. Put this in the bank for this other session. Remember it. Like,
Yeah.
um, in Cornwall actually reminds me back in the day, like I used to, people used to tell me like take notes, and I never used to take notes. And Cornwall, at the last test was like, you should start taking some notes of this stuff. And like my brain turned. I'm like, fuck, you know what? There has been plenty of times where like you learn something that weekend or that day, but like sometimes it doesn't happen again for a little while.
Yeah.
And you have it in your notes, like, hey, this is what you did in this occasion, like this is
Hmm.
what you did in this given moment on this bike. And it's just I can't give you a scenario right now because I can't think about it, but it's just little notes. So
That's fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Um, Hayden says, are there some things that you're doing to help manage the lack of feeling in the TC? He says he's got a similar issue with his R1 with the YEC kit, finding it hard to feel the difference, even with it set way high.
For me as a rider, I don't know what the team's doing. Like that's more of like a Marshall or Richard question. But for me, when I was getting used to it, I just try not to have much lean angle when I gave it, basically full throttle, in a lot of places. And you just kind of creep up on it, really. Like it was baby steps. And in my experience, when I try to make too big of jumps, I end up on my head or almost having moments. So it was really just like, for me, I'm like a repetition guy. Like I got to put in my laps because I like to just, work into it like baby steps, just baby,
So is that like a feel thing to trust it?
it is a feel thing to trust it. But it was like for
Yeah.
a while in the beginning
You
of
got
the
to creep
day.
into it and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It was just laps really. And just
Yeah.
making sure like when I'm opening up the throttle, I'm smooth and I'm ready to, catch it, whatever happens. But the more I rode, the more I got used to it and I could just actually ride into it. And you're like, oh, okay, this is what it does. But it was more just like a repetition thing as a rider. But I was telling Marshall and Richard, like I was experiencing this and we turned it up a little bit more. But I know we could still, fine tune it for sure.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I got a lot of commentary in here about give the youngins a chance. Eli Block is here in the comments as well. He said he met you at the Loudon
yeah,
Classic thing.
we're pitted next to each other. Eli's a good
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, Eli's a good dude.
Yeah, I don't know if he has a ride. I had him
Yeah,
on the show a while back.
I wrote him the other day. We were riding each other the other day, and he said he didn't have a ride. And I basically told him, I was like, fuck, that's every year of my career, basically.
Yeah,
Like
no shit.
something always falls in line for good riders, like something
Yeah.
always kind of plays out as much as it might not be what you want. You just kind of got to stick in there because once you're gone, you're gone. It's really hard for you to come back, even if it's a 1 or 2 race thing, you just got to keep your name relevant, really, even if
Yeah.
it's club racing of some sort. But if you're good, you always somehow find a way back.
Well, I mean, just using you as an example, I mean, I've known you for several
Yeah.
years now,
Yeah.
right?
No, for
And I've watched you ride damn near everything. R6s. Yeah, I think you had a Ducati for a second, and
did I? But
you've
I came
ridden
and
fucking
gone too.
everything.
I came and gone multiple times.
Yeah,
Like, there's been years I just didn't have a ride at all. Just
yeah,
worked a day job.
yeah,
So hell, I'm still working a day job, but
yeah.
still.
You were like slinging scooters for a second, right? Like,
I did like when I was
didn't you
you know,
work for Piaggio for
yeah, no,
like
I did.
5 minutes?
So I've done
Yeah,
I worked at Harley Davidson places, being busboys. I've worked at Piaggio for a while.
yeah.
I worked at Alpine Stars and now Dionysi. Like just I did commercial doors. Commercial doors was like probably the longest stint.
Oh,
Uh,
no shit.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
just doing like fab work and putting up commercial doors and roller doors and you basically gates for gated communities and all that stuff. So I learned how to turn a wrench and do some welding and stuff here and there.
Yeah, and you had that privateer Cowie thing that you shined with, and then
Yeah, no, I've been up. Shoot,
the
I can't.
M4 thing.
I can't even count
Like
how many teams
I still I'm
I
like
am. Triumph for a while.
Yeah. I remember that test. We were at the Ridge. Was it 2020? We tested at the Ridge, and I was like factory dude for a day. Get to ride my bike on the track with 5 of you guys.
Yeah.
And I caught a false neutral in that chicane right in front of you.
I felt like I wanted to kill you that day or something like that. I nearly almost
and I remember coming up to you and going, "Hey Bob, do we have to fight?"
Yeah. You were gonna get
what?
You were gonna get the Stockton Slap. You were gonna be the
one.
one.
Oh, for sure, dude. I earned it too. I definitely earned it.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, dude. Like full on. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Good time, man.
Yeah, super fun, man.
We have
so back to the R1, you got to test something a little bit different too this time, right? Like you got to test a bike with wings on it.
It was cool.
Talk a little bit about that. Like, what does that feel like?
Well, I didn't think, honestly, like before we put it on, I was excited to try it for sure. But like when you look at, I mean, they're not that damn big, like compared to like the BMWs, like BMWs, those are basically just jet wings,
Yeah, no shit.
So I didn't know if I was going to feel anything, and I didn't hear like much feedback from what the World Superbike guys said. And I watched like Johnny Ray's podcast, or not Johnny Ray's vlogs, and he had something to say a little bit about it. But so I was curious to try it. I initially thought that I was going to feel it more at like the first gear turns, first, second, but I obviously got to have more speed. But I thought for sure, like maybe I'd feel it out of the first gear turns, just to help keep the wheel, which I didn't. It was more the faster stuff, which obviously makes sense. I just wasn't using my brain, but it was more the faster stuff that you just feel like, even before when the wheelie control was active, you could always feel the front wheel just kind of, up a little bit, and you could feel the wheelie control kind of just slowing the bike down a little bit and going on in the front straight and like the higher gears. Like I felt it a little bit when I was shifting from second to third, but like, from third, fourth, fifth, that was like, you could really feel like it was pretty good. And braking too, which was oddly, I didn't even think anything of it, which was odd for me to even, experience, was like, like going into turn one, it just honestly just like settled the bike down. Really. It wasn't like, well, it was weird. Like it didn't
have that much of an effect with it wings so tiny.
The thing is, I wish it was worth time. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we went faster on it, or maybe we did. I don't know.
I think you did.
I know I went faster, but we were also trying other things too. When we were the wing. So I really don't know like exactly what made me go faster, but like it wasn't like holy shit, we went a half a second faster. Just because of the wings. And it'd be nice if it was that way. But I think maybe Richard knows more like the actual data, if it actually like saves some time, or like basically was faster on the time. Sorry, but it felt good.
Yeah.
They look cool too.
There's another question coming in from the Beer Hunter. And this will lead into a question from me after this. But as a novice, at the time racer, big shout out to Bobby for showing me how deep you can brake into turn 3 at Brainerd during a test track day there a couple years ago. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
It's spelled out holy. Yeah.
So, well, unfortunately, we're not going to Brainerd.
Yeah. Like, how much do you miss going to Brainerd, bro? Like,
which sucks, man. But when I saw the schedule, I was pretty bummed, obviously, because we won there. I've always done good there.
You and Rocco.
Yeah, Rocco does great there too. I mean, and there's nothing special about the place. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, fuck, this place is bitching. It's just like, for whatever reason, like, I went really good there. And it's obviously kind of fun too. Like, as much as like, quirky that little section is through the cones or whatever,
that weird carousel chicane weird thing.
Always just I approached it pretty damn good, like it was for whatever, maybe my supermoto days, I don't know, but it's unfortunate. But again, I understand why people don't want to go back. One, it's people say it was dangerous. I didn't think so, but the drive from the airport to the track is far.
Yeah, dude. I guess it's like, how many propane dealerships are you gonna see until you get to Brainerd?
Yeah, and I guess the facilities, been it needs some dialing in for sure. But no, honestly, it would suck, not to go back. Hopefully in the
I mean,
future they clean
there's
it
a
up.
bunch of CRA guys that race out there, and they all love it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
that's a
I
special
digged it.
breed of dude there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I digged it. So
Yeah.
I'd way rather go there than the damn VAR.
Yeah.
Yeah, VR is lame. I don't like VAR. Like, at least there's like some passing places and stuff at Brainerd. You could literally pass in every corner at Brainerd.
Yeah.
VIR is like what, 3 turns you could pass on? Like, it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, there's that beer hunter guy says and I've heard this a lot actually. They wish that people could run the old Donnybrook course, at Brainerd.
the
Yeah, the OG one.
one.
Like,
Yeah, the OG.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I
pulled
don't
up.
know if us younger, well, not even young generation. I don't know if we have the balls for the old.
Oh, dude! Like,
Yeah.
I pulled up a YouTube video a couple years ago. Well, I pulled it up a couple years ago, but I mean, it was like 20 years ago, and it was like Yates and Miguel and Bostrom and those guys just stabbing each other in the neck out there. I mean, and they were like on the pin, 6th gear, like going in turn 1. Like, holy,
Yeah.
it was gnarly.
I've seen some old school videos like of in that era when they're racing at like Willow Springs. They're like 6 wide and turn 7,
Yeah.
turn 8 at Willow Springs. So some good stuff, man. And
Yeah.
hopefully the Superbike class will be pretty exciting this year.
Yeah. Like Irate Barry says he's just here getting back from a Christmas party. Nice tree, Fonger.
Yeah, I decorated it myself.
Yeah, I bet. I know you're. You know what? Everybody knows that your wife does everything.
No, she does literally.
You're
just.
Yeah. You're just there. It's your world.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just here.
It's Bobby's world.
I'm just the POS on the couch. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So.
Yeah. So John Righty is saying that Miguel did 198 miles an hour in turn 1.
That's so fast.
I mean,
so fast. That's crazy fast,
right?
Yeah. That
was back then. They were like 750s.
Yeah. That's where men were men. Yeah, that's where men were men. We're just most of it.
Well, also like back then, the riders were actually getting paid like really good money, right?
Yeah.
Like, really. I mean, it's none of my business. I don't know what the salaries are like now, but I'm pretty sure you guys aren't making like Mladen and Miguel kind of money,
No, but money or not, I'm always, this is my job, one of my jobs. So I'm going to put it on the line no matter what, for myself, really, risk it all. So even if I'm getting $2, for that race or 2 million, I'm still going to ride the same. So.
Oh, I know. I've seen you at club races, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, you know what? It's a club race, but there's $2,000. So like,
your name's on the line, dude. Your name's on the line. I got to live up to the Fong.
Well, the thing is, back in the day, the club, when the pro guys used to come do the club races, like, I've been doing this for a long time, right? So like, I can remember back in the day, it would be like Gobert, Zemke, like those guys would be out racing at Willow, and on the last lap they would pull off, and that was it. But nowadays it's like, everybody's following the Steve Rapp program.
I'm gonna win that club race.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's my $2,000.
Yeah, I'm gonna win that club race. Yeah, that is honestly, that's so sad to say, but yeah, that is true. Like at Chuck Wallace, like, I'm not pulling up. I'm gonna win this $2,000.
Oh, I know. Yeah, Righty's saying that Josh Hayes is doing that at CVMA. No quarter given.
Yeah.
Dude, Hayes has always been that way though. Like, back in the day, dude, he would come out on some clapped out Honda that his wife had put together and show absolutely no respect to anybody and just murder.
Gotta live up to his name too, man.
Yeah, dude. He's got that skull and crossbones for a reason, right?
He has to remind people he's a Hurricane Hayes. Yeah. Some people just need some reminding.
Yeah, or the Mississippi Madman. Right?
Sorry, Mississippi Madman.
Yeah.
I have him in my phone as Hurricane Hayes. That's what I.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, you have many nicknames, right?
Honestly, I've had so.
So is it Factory Bob now? Is that gonna stick?
It could be. It could be. That's a good one. I won't go in my suit, but it's let's win some races and then we can legitify, the fact that
Eli says that they're trying to kill each other at Loudon for $500.
yeah, yeah, that's a proper place to die over there too.
Joel wants to know, what will you do if Heron tells you something about your past next year?
My past? My passes. The fans love that juice, man. The fans love
Yeah, I mean, you
love
know
the drama,
what?
man.
Yeah, I mean, there's,
Sometimes you got to give the fans what they
it
want.
can't be boring, right?
No, you can't be boring, but honestly, it's just like I'm not big on I'm not big on if there's cameras around or like it takes a lot for me. Like it takes a lot for me to actually really like get mad, like properly mad. Like a lot of shit irritates me, but like I don't want to say anything in front of a camera. I don't care about social media. I don't care about bullshit talking on social media. I'm like the guy. It's like, hey, let's go in the alley. Nobody's around. Like shit like that. Like I don't care about like. I know the fans want to see it though. Like the fans want to see some drama, which that's what sells, man. I guess
Well, I
I'm
mean, just
good
keep it
at
on the
that stuff.
racetrack, right? I mean,
I'm not good at that stuff.
there's no point in drama outside of the racetrack. Yeah, do what you got to do out on
No,
the racetrack.
no,
Do what you're
me and
talking there,
Aaron.
right?
By the way, let me rephrase it. Me and Aaron are cool, but I'm just saying, like when the cameras are around and shit like that, like the fans want to see riders, like,
Oh yeah,
not maybe fighting, but like they want to see some juice, But
yeah,
I guess I'm just not the guy to please the cameras, I'm more the realist, So
totally.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
You've always had a good attitude about that kind of stuff, and
yeah, it
you're
just
not gonna sit there and let stupid crap get in the way of the job.
yeah, yeah. Because at the
Basically.
end of the day, if you really make me bad, I'm just gonna kill you. I'm not gonna talk smack on a camera. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like Matt Skoltz is talking about it, right? Like that dude's legit a black belt.
yeah, yeah.
Like he could probably fight. It's
I
like,
remember that. I remember what year was it? 2020 or something like that. When like Tony Elias, like and him, like I think he was at like Road America or something like that. Like I think Tony got super pissed at like Skoltz and like Park Fermary or something, and
yeah,
everybody looking around like holy shit, like Skoltz
yeah,
gonna kill this guy.
yeah.
Like he didn't do it. I think Skoltz actually kept it cool, but like Skoltz is like what, like 6 foot tall, whatever he is, and like
He's more than 6 foot tall, dude. He's
Tony's like
gigantic.
Tony's like 5 foot, like and
Yeah.
like Sculptor just and then it would have been done. But like it was, I love both of those guys. But like I remember, like Sculptor literally was probably gonna kill that guy.
Well, Tony's he's like that traditional emotional Spaniard, that
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like that's how it's like a lot of hugging and kissing and crying and yelling. Like
yeah.
that's all you get.
I'm sure that dude could scrap too, though.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
For sure, dude.
yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
You don't get to be world champ by,
Yeah.
being a pussy,
Nah,
right?
Tony's a good dude, man. He was
Yeah.
feisty for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
all that shit like doesn't matter. It's like what happens on track is
Yeah.
really only, I mean, all the stuff in the pits, like whatever,
It's crazy. Like you see, like look at this BSB shit. Like look at BSB racing. Like
dude.
dude, those guys are fucking crossing each other up, chopping and chain. Like it's crazy how they race.
Dude,
But
how about the last 3
bickering,
laps of the last race to the
you
championship?
you don't see any bickering in the pits. Like it's just a
No,
part.
dude.
Yeah, so it's a part of the
And
deal.
it like some of the passing that last couple of laps was dirty, dude. It was like, whoa.
Now I know, like that's their job. That's how
Yeah.
they're.
It's like full contact sport.
Yeah, but you don't see them in the pits.
No,
Try. So yeah,
no, you don't see any of that.
wow.
Hey, so Matt Knutson wants to know if you think that the club racers and track day dudes should get the wings.
It's not, like, thing is, I said it earlier. I'm not sure if it was worth time. Like it definitely, like at the end of the day, I think it is worth a little bit of time, but it's not like holy shit, that's a half a second,
Yeah.
But like, and we have some crazy, we have the Pirelli system with crazy electronics and stuff like that. So yeah, is it worth it to maybe find that extra tenth or two once you're at that limit for yourself? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But like if you still have some like ways to go, what riding and stuff like that, it's not a make or break deal. I think even like here's a good example. Last year was like World Superbike. I think only the factory team got the wings or something like that, and then there was a good like the privateer Yamaha teams last year. Some of them didn't have it, and like I think some of the privateer teams even baked the factory teams when they had the wings. It was like I
Right.
think it wasn't the crazy big difference. So
Yeah, it seemed like the factory Yamaha team did find a little mile an hour towards the end of the season.
it could be
And I
honestly. Like,
wasn't
I
sure
don't
if
know.
that was the wings or if they'd found
Yeah,
something in the engine or, you
yeah,
know,
yeah. And I don't know like I said, I don't know the real data, but I know what I felt. But it wasn't like it was in the higher gears, so it's not like
yeah.
now if the wings helped in the lower gears, like first, second, third, where it's like actually properly keeps the wheel down, I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, get the wings for sure. But this is like stuff higher in the gears, so it's not the end
Yeah.
of the world. So
So Joel wants to know, besides yourself and your teammate, uh, which rider is the one to watch out for next season in
um
Superbike?
oh, I mean you can't discount the, Bobier, Heron, Kelly, I mean
The
hell, even
usual
Richie.
suspects.
Honestly, the usual suspects, even M4 with Richie Escalante, like
Dude, Richie, dude, he came back from breaking his back, dude, and he came back swinging.
dude, he's a great rider. I mean, he's fit. I mean, it's going to be the usual suspects for sure. It's going to be definitely. I mean, obviously, I think the BMW is even getting a new bike for this year as well.
Oh yeah.
So I think that
I keep hearing there's a new red bike gonna be on the grid,
like a new model or a
like
new.
a
Oh,
Honda.
yeah, Hayden too on the Honda.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that'd be good. I don't know. I know Hayden's a great rider. Obviously, I've always rated
yeah.
that guy, but I don't know how his package is going to be. Like I don't know if is he getting actually factory Honda parts. Like I did hear rumors. Again, I don't know. These are just rumors that he actually his bike might be coming from Japan, or they might be building it in Japan or something like
Oh,
that. So,
really?
yeah, I heard he might have a good bike. So, but I don't know.
Yeah, I heard they're putting together like a legit effort,
I
you
don't know
know?
how good the Honda team is really. Like
Yeah,
not the Honda team. I don't know how good the Honda is because I feel like it's kind of a hard gauge when you look at World Superbike because
right.
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think
those guys are getting closer, it looks like, right?
yeah, but I honestly think, and I'm not bad mouthing anybody. I almost think that their riders don't have the same experience as a lot of the other riders they're competing against too. As
Right.
well, so I'm not
I
sure.
mean, dude, how many championships does Johnny Ray have? And he got it smoked this season, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everybody has their kind of opinions, on that. I have
Well,
my
what do
own.
you think? What's the Bobby Fong take on Johnny Ray?
And whatever I say, I'm not. This is not bad mouthing.
No, dude. Like this is just
Like
us talking,
I think
right?
I think from the outside looking in, I almost think like he was trying to ride it like the Cowie, like how he's like trying to break super deep, which obviously you got to break deep, but like I think he's
Yeah.
just pointing and shooting it. Like when you look at Locatelli, like how he's just flowing,
Yeah.
like that's how the Yamaha likes to be ridden. Like you can
Yeah.
put on the side of the tire a little bit longer instead of just snapping it up like Ray does. Like it likes that middle corner speed. Like as much as you want to build the bike to break as deep as you can and come out of the turn fast, like that's how Johnny Ray's riding. But where
Mm.
Locatelli is good is he's keeping it leaned over a little bit longer, keeping
His roll speed's higher.
his roll speed's way higher.
Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, his
That
rolls
that makes
higher.
sense
That's what the
because
Yamaha
it's like, man,
likes.
like you
That's what the
look at a
Yamaha
guy
likes.
like,
So
right? Like you look
yeah.
at the guy and it's not like he forgot how to ride a fucking motorcycle, right?
No,
Like,
I think he just was. In my personal opinion, I just think like he was on that Cowie for what, fuck, 7 years or something like that. Crazy.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
hard. Like, and yes, he is older. Like not old, but like he is older. You know,
yeah,
and I think that yes, I do think that. And I'm saying this to my team as well. I do think older guys could change, a little bit of their style for sure.
yeah,
But it does take a little bit more time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, how does it feel now that you don't have to ride two completely different kind of motorcycles on the same weekend?
that's so nice. That's
Yeah,
it's so nice. And just energy wise,
yeah.
mainly. Yeah, just like.
And I'm seeing you rocking your Danese shirt.
I won't be working at the track either. Would I?
What? You're not going to be changing out dudes' cartridges and
No, I'm
stuff?
not doing that.
All
That's
right.
nice. But I am still working for the company.
Okay.
But I'm brand support now, so more remote stuff. Just traveling with our distributors, Turn 14, Parts Unlimited, stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's definitely more relaxing physically, and I don't have to deal with any of the racers, any of that stuff. And
So now you get to focus on being a super bike racer then.
yeah, and then honestly, they really respect that I race too. The guys in North America, at least North America, Dainese.
Yeah.
I gotta basically say it, North America.
Right.
They're pretty they're good in working with me on my schedule and testing and all that stuff. So it's cool.
Dude, John Righty says another new nickname could be One Job Bob.
One job Bob. It's still two job Bob, but
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, it's still two job Bob.
right on.
I've been telling this to everybody. I like having a job.
Yeah.
As much as I haven't during this time, I haven't been doing jack shit really, but like during this time of year, but yes, there's some days where I'm like, shit, I don't want to work. I don't want to respond to this damn stupid email. It's cool because if I have a bad weekend or like, it's just like I have something else to fall back on. We're all going to have to get a job. Every single racer out there, other than maybe one or two, are going to have to get a job.
Yeah.
Where are they going to go?
Yeah, that's a sad reality
Where
of
are they going to go?
the sport, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it didn't
I'm
used
not
to
good
be
on
that
social
way.
media. I'm not good on social media. I'm not a fucking great coach. I can tell you a few things about riding, but I'm not a great coach.
You
So
were coaching dudes. I
know
had
I
you out
was.
at my track days. You were coaching
No.
dudes.
I could give my 2 cents. You know what I mean? But like, like I don't think I'm gonna make a living on doing that. Like I know a lot of racers. When they're done racing, they end up coaching and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of other better coaches out there. Like I could tell you what I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of schools out there now, and you have your track days and a lot of coaches, and everybody has their 2 cents on how to go fast, and yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe I do some coaching in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you used to come
Yeah,
out, you have your little
yeah,
truck and everything, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it got to the point where I was like, dude, if you need a bike, I'll give you a bike, like whatever.
I'm still probably going to be hitting you up about a bike. So
You
yeah,
probably will. You probably
yeah,
will.
yeah,
I mean, the reality is, it's more like like that kind of bike.
yeah. Bicycle.
That's
Dude,
yeah.
it's so shitty weather here. I haven't even gone
Oh,
out
dude.
like a week or
Yeah, I mean, we've been like my wife and I have been kind of sick here, so it's like I've been kind of taking a break from the pedals, but I can't wait to get back on. I'm like jonesing.
I've been crazy riding motocross a lot. Like
Oh, have you?
a lot, yeah, like crazy. Like I went today. It was good. I had to go today honestly because it's going to be pissed down raining here the next 7 days straight. So
Hey, so the Nate Loyal, I think the loyal cyclist.
Nate, my guy.
Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
coach, dude.
yeah,
Like
dude,
that's my boy right
my guy.
there.
Don't be fighting
Oh,
over
he's
you.
your coach
Yeah,
too? Get
yeah. He
your
wasn't
own
my
coach.
coach, but he did bike fit me like on my S works that I got, and it's been mint.
Yeah, dude. Like Nate, he's the man. That guy saved me so bad. Like, I did that tour thing. I damn near ruined my knee. And like he
Did
made
you?
an adjustment. He told me what to do over the phone while he was at Disneyland with his kids.
That's
And
a
it
dedicated.
saved my world,
That's a
dude.
dedicated man right there.
Dude, he took my call in the like late morning and I was in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was like crying like a little bitch.
Yeah, I
Right?
bought this bike. I bought this road bike from Cameron Bovie last year, and
Oh
like
yeah?
it had all these sweet components on there and everything. And I rode it like multiple different times. All this knee pain, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I try to adjust a whole bunch of different things myself, thinking like, oh, maybe it's like the cleats a little bit, or the seat height, or the bars. And saw him, and fuck, my life's been great ever since. And I'm not just saying that; it was great. So
Oh, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Nate
yeah,
is the
good dude.
man. And
Yeah.
dude, you say the word, bro, and we'll be on the pedals, dude. Like I'd like to take you up in the Santa Monica Mountains and torture you a bit.
One of these days when my job allows me. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Eli wants to know when you're coming back to his area and ride some moto at Southwick.
Dude, it's snowing where he's at right now, isn't it? In North, he's in like New
Doesn't he
Hampshire.
like race ice and
Yeah,
stuff? Like,
honestly, ice is probably the most fun. Yeah.
yeah,
I got to hit up Yamaha to give me a demo bike for the East Coast because there are some sweet tracks I heard up there. So
yeah,
yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
cool. That'd be cool.
And honestly, now that I'm married in the last, over a year, I can't just leave when I want to anymore.
Take her
You know?
with, bro. Take her
That was
with.
honestly that was one of the cool things for a while. Like, like you just like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna leave and stay at my buddy's place for like 2 weeks and just go train and hang out. Like just
Yeah.
can't do that anymore. So, but
Well,
it's
you
honestly, it's
can,
nice.
but
I can,
then,
but honestly, I like prefer to be home more nowadays
yeah,
too,
dude.
because I'm already
Yeah,
gone so much, and especially with my job, I'm gone too. So, but I
yeah,
do need to make a trip up there and go ride.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, Bobby, you know what? It's been a good shot, dude. I'm
Yeah,
so
cheers, buddy.
stoked that you've got this factory ride, and
Thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to seeing you smash fulls and do the Stockton Slap and all that.
We'll try. We'll try.
We should get like a
Somebody has to
rubber.
get. At one
We should
point,
get like the gummy hand thing and just call that the slap and just
at one point in my
start
career, I'm
selling
sure
them.
you guys will see a proper Stockton slap, but hopefully nobody gets me to that point. So,
A
yeah.
proper, like, what's a proper Stockton Slap, Bob?
Oh,
What is
just
that?
yeah, just the big backhand, just the
Oh,
big backhand. Yeah,
oh shit.
yeah,
Okay. Gauntlet thrown.
yeah,
Gauntlet
yeah,
thrown.
yeah. Yeah.
Right on, dude.
Well, thanks for
Man,
having me, dude.
yeah, dude, it's been fun chat, man. As always,
Yeah,
it's so funny. Like the way we talk on this is exactly the same way we talk on the phone
yeah,
and at the track and wherever.
yeah. Well, the real question is, what are you having for dinner over there? It's already 7:30. What are you having for
You
dinner?
know what? I'm kind of like I said, I haven't been like the best
Tell
of
the
health.
fans of what shit food you're gonna eat for dinner.
Um, I'm not gonna eat dinner tonight, man. But I did, dude, earlier because I'm going to my sister-in-law's tomorrow. Dude, I made a homemade apple pie and I made the classic pumpkin cream cheese roll thing.
That sounds like
There you
that.
go.
You're good. You're
Yeah.
good. So,
Yeah. And I only shared that because I know that Richard kind of called you fat the other night. So
dude, so that fucking picture, God, that drives me crazy. I showed my wife. I'm like, do I look like this? I showed her. I'm like, she was like, honestly, that's a really bad angle. Like, maybe like look at. I mean, you can look underneath. I'm proper double chin, but I promise you, I'm like, I don't look
yeah,
like that in person, really.
I sent Shelly a video earlier today of some lady talking about her goal weight being one chin.
One chin. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. No, I promise you that picture was a bad angle. I promise the fans. So,
Okay.
yeah.
It's still funny though. It's still
Yeah.
funny. Right on, man. Well, good
All
chatting
right.
you up, Bob. And
All right, guys.
when's the next time you ride?
Well, I just got a schedule from Richard.
Yeah, I got to check the email. But
Yeah, hopefully he's listening. He did say he was giving me shit. I wrote him today. I'm like, hey, are we riding before the end of January? Because you mentioned something. He was like, you're not a patient guy. I'm
dude,
like,
you are not a patient guy.
I was like, I need to know because I wanted to basically plan ahead. So no,
Yeah, dude.
supposedly we're to the schedule. It's at the end of January.
Yeah. And you'll probably be ready to go as soon as the bike's ready to go.
Yeah,
right?
no, we'll get,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
down.
you have this thing like you're the first one out and the last one in.
I'm kind of. Do you see these guys? I know we got to go here shortly, but like,
Yeah.
like one of my goals too is put in laps because I almost think of it as exercise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want to like not only I need to test stuff, but in my mind I'm like I need to put in my lap. I need to do my work. Like I can't fucking go to a test and do 20, 30 laps. Like what is that? Like I actually got to put in my laps to actually build my fitness and like put in my work because I'm known for being the guy at the end of the races. Like you look at my career,
I'd have to check that last test. I want to say you for the couple of days. I want to say you did like over 100 laps.
Yeah, but I want to do.
2 days.
My goal is to do 70 or 80 laps a day.
Yeah,
like that's my goal. Like I want laps.
Well, you got to remember, you got to give the boys time to make changes and flip your bike upside down and shit.
No. That's not alone the testing side. For me, just like my fitness, just like it helps me. So
yeah. Well, right on, man.
Cheers, guys.
Well, appreciate the chat, dude. And thanks everybody for watching. And dude, please like, subscribe, mash all those buttons and all that. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for having me. We'll call you later. Cheers, buddy. Yeah.